Most people see this image and think of God. They see a divine creator reaching down from the heavens to bring order to the chaos. But if you ask the man who painted it, he would tell you that you've been deceived. In 1794, William Blake, a man the world called a lunatic, produced the Ancient of Days. Look at the figure. He is crouched within a burning sun, his white hair whipped by a celestial wind, reaching into the darkness with a massive, golden compass. But this isn't the God of the Bible. This is Urizen. In Blake's private mythology, Urizen is the architect of the universe, but he isn't the hero. He is the villain. He is the cold, calculating spirit of logic who didn't create the world to save us, but to imprison us. Today, we go behind the canvas to uncover the Masonic secrets, the sacred geometry, and the terrifying visions of a man who claimed to talk to angels. To understand the painting, you have to understand the madness of William Blake. Born in London in 1757, Blake didn't live in the same world we do. At age 4, he screamed because he saw God's head pressed against his window. At 9, he wandered through Peckham Rye and saw a tree filled with angels, their wings bespangling every bough like stars. His peers at the Royal Academy of Arts thought he was insane. He claimed to have long conversations with the spirits of the dead, Moses, Milton, even the ghost of a flea. But Blake's most chilling encounter was with the figure in this painting. He didn't just imagine Urizen, he felt him. To Blake, the Enlightenment, the age of science and reason, was a trap. He saw the Industrial Revolution as satanic mills, grinding the human soul into dust. The Ancient of Days was his way of showing us the face of the great systematizer who was turning the world into a giant, cold machine. Now, let's talk about the secret society elephant in the room. If you've ever looked into Freemasonry, your eyes immediately go to those compasses. In Masonic lore, the Grand Architect of the Universe, GAOTU, is the supreme being, and the compass is the primary tool used to circumscribe our desires and keep our passions within due bounds. Was Blake a Mason? Officially, no record exists. However, he lived in a hotbed of radicalism and esoteric thought. The geometry of the Ancient of Days is a direct nod to the Solomonic wisdom that Masons prize. But here is the conspiracy. Blake was using Masonic imagery to criticize it. By depicting the creator using a compass to measure the dark void, Blake was suggesting that by trying to measure and standardize reality, secret societies and scientists were actually cutting us off from the infinite. Look at the shape of the hand. It forms a perfect V, the sign of the compass. The figure is literally defining the limits of what we are allowed to see. Is it a tool of creation or a set of shackles? This painting is a masterclass in sacred geometry. Notice how the figure of Urizen is folded into a tight, almost uncomfortable square-like posture, yet he is encased in a circle. In occult geometry, the circle represents the spirit, and the square represents the physical earth. By placing a square figure inside a circle, Blake is showing the spirit being compressed into the physical. This is what Gnostics call the demiurge, a false god who thinks he is the highest power because he has mastered the math of the universe, but is actually blind to the true light beyond. There is a famous story that Blake, even as he lay dying in a small room in 1827, was still working on a copy of this very print. He spent his final hours bolting upright in bed, frantically coloring the flames around the disc. He reportedly threw it down and said, "There, that will do. I cannot mend it." He died shortly after, singing hymns to the visions only he could see. Why does the Ancient of Days still haunt us today? Because we are living in Urizen's world. We live in a world of data, algorithms, and 24/7 surveillance. A world where everything is measured, weighed, and filed. The conspiracy isn't just about men in aprons meeting in secret basements. It's the idea that our reason has become a prison. When you look at the golden compass in the hand of the Ancient of Days, don't just see a tool from the 1700s. See the code that runs your phone. See the GPS that tells you where to go. Blake's warning was simple. The moment you think you've measured the universe, you've lost the soul of it. So, the next time you feel like a gear in a machine you don't understand, look back at Blake's masterpiece. The great architect is still there, leaning out of the sun, waiting to see if you'll finally break the circle. A piece this intense shouldn't just live on a hard drive, it belongs on a wall. To get the perfect look, you can find the link to the site in the description below. You can upload a high-res shot of the painting and test out frames that match that dark, esoteric vibe. I recommend a heavy gold frame to lean into the Masonic aesthetic. It's the easiest way to turn your room into a gallery of the occult. We live in Urizen's world now, ruled by data, algorithms, and measurement. Blake's warning is more relevant than ever. Don't let the great architect measure your soul. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more deep dives into the world's most mysterious art, like, share, and subscribe.